All right, I want to talk to you about what happens inside of you psychologically, neurologically, and just give you a little bit of geeky science around what happens when your relationship ends, because many of you don't know this, and this is going to help you understand a little bit about some of the feelings you're having and some of the experiences that are happening to you that feel out of control. Again, if any of these come up for you, you can let me know in the comments, right? These are the things I do want you to tell me about. So when it comes to the emotional pain that you're going through, please understand that your brain processes grief like loss. So what it does is it activates parts of the brain that link those feelings to a physical pain. So for those of you who say, I'm in so much pain, you physically are in a lot of pain, and that is because your brain is processing the grief as if it is a broken arm, a broken leg, where you've actually had an injury. So understand that. That's really important. Next, there are some chemical changes in your body: dopamine, oxytocin, and cortisol. All three of those are really important chemicals that help us feel okay. There will be changes in serotonin, but there won't be like depression serotonin changes. But one of the most important ones is a dopamine drop. And dopamine has the sensation of feeling like we're in withdrawal, like a drug, like we're in a withdrawal phase. So when our dopamine levels drop, we have longings and cravings for our ex-partner, like sometimes obsessive, really intense, I can't stand it cravings for our ex-partner, and that is a drop in dopamine. Also, when a drop in dopamine marries a drop in oxytocin, we have a feeling of emptiness. And so, together with the dopamine oxytocin, we long for our ex partner and we feel empty without them. And that intensity can be 0 to 10. 10, I can't tolerate being without them, to 1 being, gosh, it's uncomfortable. And you'll be somewhere in there. But know that that is a dopamine and oxytocin chemical reaction in your brain. Of course, what most of you will know about is cortisol, right? So stress produces this chemical cortisol, and cortisol can make us more anxious, it can make us more irritable, it can make us easily teary, it can make us have poor sleep, it can bring on physical symptoms, and those physical symptoms can, for some people, feel like you're having a heart attack sometimes, where you have heart palpitations. So again, there's a physical side to separation. There's a physical side to some of these chemical changes in your body. Of course, there's an attachment trigger that has just happened. So we talked about attachment yesterday, and I'm going to talk about it more today. But we filled in the attachment quiz, which hopefully gave you some insights. But attachment is really important. When there is a rupture in an attachment, it can really lead to senses of longing, emotional turmoil. It can throw us back and trigger us to a previous time in our lives. So it can take us to a previous hurting and wounding. It may take us back to a part in our childhood where we were abandoned, rejected, or somebody left that we couldn't be with. It may take us back to an earlier time in our younger adulthood where something happened. So it can reactivate emotional triggers from our history that are unresolved. So it is now not just the pain of this moment that you're carrying, but the pain of the last time you experienced this moment. And finally, there are feelings of helplessness and hopelessness and despair, and that is not unusual.